Hello, 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 and welcome to Joanne's Healing Within. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck. Super, super, super excited to be here with you today. For those of you who missed last week's episode, you definitely can go and watch it on the following platforms. To name just a few of them, we have Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, and of course YouTube. And you missed an amazing show. We had Joe Monkman on last week speaking about spirit messages and energy insight. He offers an amazing weekly group that we meet every 6 weeks. It's on a hiatus right now. It will return back, I believe, September 13th. There is a flyer there in regards to how you can reach him to gain some more information based on last week's show. So with that being said, remember to share, like, and comment on today's show. I always love to know what you like most about the show. Whether it's the introduction, of course, the guest, maybe it's the reading, whatever it is. So feel free to put that in the comments as well. So let's just dive in reference to how the show actually runs week after week, because I have some amazing advertising partners that do help make this show run. So to name them, I just mentioned Joe Monkman. He's our shamanic healing practitioner and wellness advocate. We also have Gabriella, which I'm going to leave her last name alone so I don't screw it up. She's our medical intuitive and the founder of Alive Health Solution. CJ Ives Lopez, she is also the publisher and host of the Author's Porch magazine and podcast. Kendra Greer, our astrologer, Kitty Foss, and Amy Martin, both hosts of Intuition of Your Soul. They have some amazing groups that they bring together. Go check out their groups and see what works for you. Danielle Martinez Stool, he is our amazing intuitive founder. He also helps bring people together in regards to channeling energy. So connect with him as well. Nick Rafter is our real estate agent. So if you are looking for a new home or an apartment, please reach out. He's also a writer, editor, and journalist. So if you have a book, an article, whatever it is that you need someone to have edited for you, please reach out to him. Then last but not least, who is our actual guest for today, Dr. Terry Moss. She is the doctor of natural medicine, and I have her on here with me today. She's been on my show a handful of times because she's got so much wisdom, and she's been in the industry for 30 plus years. We're going to get to that in a little while, but before we do, let's just talk a little bit about the energy that's going on right now. I'm sure many of you are feeling this new moon in Virgo. Now, this new moon in Virgo is a little different than the Virgo that we know. And what I mean by that, this new moon in Virgo is creating some unusual shakes in things. It's stirring up some stuff. Very different from what we're used to. And why is that happening? Well, with Mars, this new moon is creating internal tension. So my big question to you is, are you feeling that internal tension within you? It's coming from the collective energy, by the way. So my first suggestion would be, as often as you can, really begin to clear your energy from the collective energy. And you might be curious to know, well, how do I clear my energy from the collective? Very simplest way of doing it. And that is clapping around your own energy. That clears out what is not yours. It also clears out what doesn't serve you. So when you actually go through that process of clearing things out, literally say, as I clap, I am releasing the energy that's no longer serving my highest self, and also clearing energy that I might have picked up from someplace else. And just doing that. And you could do it anywhere. So the minute you walk away from somebody, you can clap. And that will actually get your energy back to being more grounded and being more tuned to what serves your highest purpose. Then in addition to all this energy between the Mars and the moon, then we also have Venus, which is the planet of relationships. And that itself is under a very different influence with the help of Saturn and Uranus right now. So your energy may feel a little different. And more importantly, it may actually be causing an interruption in your intimate relationships. So again, my most important insight for you right now is to clear this energy. And then let's make note that we do have about 6 planets in retrograde as we speak. So we have that many planets in retrograde. It's actually helping us move things along. But do note that if there is an interruption, if there's planets working together or against each other, it's stirring the pot, so to speak, to help us move things along. So if you are experiencing some hiccups in your intimate relationship, it's not about walking away in anger or frustration or just walking away. It really is about examining where the relationship feels a little stagnant. Because maybe it's a time to evaluate, sit down with your partner, and see in the relationship what is working, what's not working, and really work on clearing out what's not working so the two of you can come together and set some new intentions. After all, when we talk about the new moon, it is about setting up new intentions. And we do have, when we think about it, we have Mercury that's going to go retrograde as of September 9th, and that's in Libra. So Mercury is going to help us bring more balance into our communication. So it would be a great time to start communicating with your partner in regards to what's working, what's not working. And then we also have Jupiter in retrograde in Aries. So that's about the expansion of self. Saturn's in retrograde in Aquarius, which actually is going to go direct in October. So we still have a few weeks of Saturn's retrograde in Aquarius, which is about our structure and the collective energy as well, your community. Neptune's in Pisces. Neptune is about the spiritual awakening that we're going through. And I say going through because every one of us are experiencing some sort of shift with our psyche and shift in our actual energy in itself, physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And then, of course, we have good old Pluto in retrograde in Capricorn, which is, of course, helping to destroy what no longer works for us. And last but not least, Chiron, which is the planet or the asteroid, for that matter, of the wounded healer. So anything from your past that no longer serves you is really being torn away so you can let go of it. It's not about telling your old story anymore. It really is about recognizing that old story, what you've learned from that old story, and how you can evolve and move forward and release the old story so you make the space. So if for whatever the reasons are in your relationship, that intimate relationship that is, and even your business partnerships as well, there could be some discombobulation going on, which might be a great time to have a conversation to find out what is working. What can you continue doing together, and what is no longer working that perhaps you've outgrown, and it's time to really let that go so you can renew this contract with one another. And that's when we think about it, the energy that we have in regards to Mercury moving into retrograde in Libra on September 9th, the contracts, the balance, the marriages, and when we speak of marriage, the traditional and also just the marriage of what we are married to, habits, beliefs, programmings, and philosophies as well. So this is really a great time with these retrogrades and with this new moon's energy to start setting new intentions to what you would like the intimate relationship to look like, whether it's professional or personal. What do you want it to look like? And start acting that out, start setting the intentions to that being just that, which is a great thing. So what I like to do here is I want to pull some cards. Well, not some cards, pull one card and see what we need help with in reference to one chakra we can work on in this new energy of the new moon Virgo, and helping us to really set intentions to how we want our intimate partnerships to go professionally and personally. So let's see what shows up for us today. So just take a breath, clear your energy, and let's see what we have in store. quite interesting on the card for today. That card is spiritual guidance. So perhaps you may need some insight. So maybe you and your partner, your intimate partner, can sit together. And the vision I'm seeing is sitting together face to face, holding each other's hands, and really asking for guidance to what can work in this relationship, personally and professionally. If you're sharing a business relationship, sitting together and getting some insight to what's going to work, what's going to help this relationship grow in your business. Same thing for your intimate relationship. Spiritual guidance, connecting with your higher consciousness, coming out of the ego. Then we talk about that 3-4, which is 7. So interesting. That's where the Mercury energy is going to be going as of 9/9 in reference to its retrograde, because Mercury is already in Libra, helping us to communicate. So that 7 is really about bringing more balance into our relationships with the help of this Virgo new moon. Now let's talk chakra here, which is the green, which is all about healing, nurturing, letting go of the frustration or even the grief that we may be holding on to. Because again, in whatever it is you're letting go of that doesn't serve you anymore, there's going to be grief there. It's like anything else. If you've lost a family member, you grieve through the process. Same thing goes when you're sitting down with each other and you're talking about things that no longer work with the relationship. You're going to grieve that perhaps. Just we're here and you're allowing yourself to do that, so you can move out of that grieving and recognizing what you receive from that experience, give it gratitude, and let it go. So that's that green heart energy. I love that. I love that. I love that. In numerology, the number 7 is really associated with spirit communication, taking time to go within, meditation, balance, and recognizing that we are all on a spiritual journey, journeying our way to where we need to go. Every single day is an opportunity to discover who you are on a soul's level. And when we can learn to do that and support each other on our journeys, life and the world becomes a much better, easier place to live in. All right, guys. So with all that being said, again, remember to share this out, like, comment, and share. I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and when I get back, I'm going to have my guest here, and we are going to be chatting about overcoming disease. And it's a big topic, and I'm hoping that in this time that my guest and I are together, we will be able to share out as much information as possible to help each and every one of you who are either experiencing a disease or know someone who is or has a disease, how you can heal from that. We'll be right back, or I'll be right back.
Each of us has a mission. What's your mission? Would you like to become a community health resource specialist so you can help your family and your community? For more information on this new training, email me at terry@morsewellness.com. That's TERRY @MORSE wellness.com. You can become a community health resource specialist.
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. For those of you who have just tuned in right now, please remember to go back later and watch the very beginning. You could do so by watching it on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Twitch TV, and of course YouTube and many other platforms. But for now, stick around because there's much information that's going to be shared today. Only one thing I want to share is about our new moon in regards to Virgo and how it's stirring up some unusual internal energy that might be creating a lot of friction in our intimate relationships, whether it's personal or business. So our card for today is about spiritual guidance. And spiritual guidance could be very helpful when you are in that space of feeling stagnant. at 3-4, so about 7, which is about taking time to quiet down, meditate, so you can bring more balance back into those relationships, personally or professionally. I'm going to leave it at that. Come back later and watch the beginning so you can learn about the color, because we have a lot to cover today, and I think it's necessary that we dive right in. Hello, 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 Terry, Dr. Terry Morse. How are you today?
I am really great. How are you?
Very good, very good. We have a big topic today.
Yep.
Very big topic. We are going to be chatting about overcoming disease. Well, that's a mouthful in itself. So let's dive in. Yes, shall we?
Let's go.
All righty. So because this topic is I'm going to use the word overwhelming, a huge topic. My big question to you is, what exactly is disease about? And what can you tell us about it?
Okay, so I do want to talk about this topic because there are so many people who don't know where to turn today, and they have a disease diagnosis and they're confused, or they're just plain hurting and nothing is working and they don't know. So I want to cover today several different areas in a short time here, a little bit about the history of medicine, just several different areas in a short.
Sorry about that.
A little bit of history, just a tiny bit, and then about what is disease and what is it actually instead of a diagnosis, and how did we get there, and what is it all about? Okay, so it would be very helpful for everyone to understand that up until the early 1900s, there were hundreds of natural medicine schools and medical clinics and hospitals and medical schools in this country, the United States. And these schools were shut down because of politics and people funding other types of medicine, which is what we know today as medicine, or conventional medicine. But actually, it was much more grounded in the 1800s and the early 1900s, where people were in touch with their bodies. The doctors understood how the bodies worked, which they don't today because they're not trained. So it's important to know a little of that history, and you can go back and study a lot of that, but to know that there is a history there at all, and why it's important, because what we are practicing today as medicine is conventional. And it is literally designed so that there can be a diagnosis. There are like 45,000 different diagnoses possible, so that a doctor can follow a protocol and prescribe a drug that is sold by a pharmaceutical company to make money. So that is the purpose of the medical system. There is no other purpose. There is no purpose to heal us. We assume that it is there for that purpose, but that is not true. And, I speak these things very clearly because I know them to be true. I've studied in this field for over 50 years and practiced for over 30. So I know, but you may not know. And so I don't want to offend anyone, but it's there. It's in the books. You can find out. So let me go with the word disease then and what exactly it is. So like I said, it is a diagnosis, but it is basically a label. And so when we say a label, well, we know that we can make a bottle of something and put a label on it, and somebody says, oh, that's what it is. But is that really what it is? And so where I'm going with this is that a disease is nothing more than a malfunctioning of the body, of some system of the body. And you have 12, 13 different systems of the body, such as the circulatory system, the respiratory system, the immune system, the digestive system, the lymphatic system, and
lots of systems.
It's a system. And it's a malfunctioning of a system, or more than one system. And so that's called a disease because there's a label. Now, when you put a label on something, then most people will claim that, and that's a real problem. And so one of the main reasons I wanted to do this topic today is to empower people to take back our power and to remove the labels of disease from what we have been told from our bodies, and to understand our bodies. But there's an enormous amount of work that needs to be done to understand our bodies. So we're only beginning to scratch the surface at this time, when there are so many people coming onto wakening up to wanting to know how their bodies work, because we have not been taught that. So let me give you a couple of examples. Here's a good example. Yesterday, I made a salad for myself, and I'm on vacation right now. I had gone to the store and purchased some organic tomatoes because I'm concerned about GMOs and other chemicals. So I bought organic tomatoes, the little grape ones that taste so sweet. And I was on my salad. And when I started biting into the first bite, I actually kind of choked. It tasted so terrible. And I started coughing immediately. Well, that was a sign that my body was telling me, this is not good for you. The coughing is related to the food. A lot of people don't put two and two together because we haven't been taught how to put two and two together, or one and one. And so I immediately threw the whole container of tomatoes away because I did test another one with my taste buds, and I'm like, oh my God, this really is horrible. I don't know why it's called organic, but it's really bad. But they can put that label on many things today that really aren't that organic.
So what I want to ask before you go further on that statement, in regards to how you were aware that the minute you bit into the tomato and you started coughing, you were aware that the coughing was an indication that your body was saying something's wrong here. So you were mindful enough to throw the item out. The average person may not necessarily be aware, when they start coughing. Like, I know for myself, just as you said that, I thought to myself, I'm like, wow, how many times do I eat something and then immediately start to cough? So I thank you for that one, because even for me, that was like, wow, now it's something I could take notice that when I do eat something, if I do start to cough, then it's an indication. I'm going to think of you right away and say, oh, wait a minute, there's something going on here. So thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. And, you point out something really important, and that is cause and effect. Anytime there's an effect, there's a cause. And so when we experience something out of the norm, we should ask ourselves, well, what is the cause? Why did this happen? And very few of us ask enough questions. We should be asking questions like a child every day, every moment. What is this? What is this all about? If it's outside the norm, like the other day, I was driving down the street and a deer crossed my path. I'm in the country area. What does that mean? Well, we can go into all kinds of rabbit holes there, but there are animal symbols. What does that mean? So when you cough, now as another example, for the immune system, let's just say you get let's go backwards. Let's go back to the digestive system. Everybody has experienced at some point that you feel heavier after you eat. Now, it could be because of what you ate or how much you ate, but there's sometimes a feeling of heaviness. And so then if you don't pay attention to that, and, we could go down that rabbit hole just as you did with the coughing, we could talk about that. But okay, if you don't pay attention to that, and you just keep on with your daily routine, like you eat the next meal, you go to bed, you get up to go to work, you do this, whatever, and you don't pay attention, you're going to get sick. Because in Chinese medicine, the stomach is the beginning of all disease, digestive system. And so it's very, very important to take note of anything that has to do with digestion. Example, when animals get sick, they stop eating. They do not eat. That is a law of nature. If you have some abnormality in your body, you stop eating. Why? Because your body's a self-healing mechanism. It will heal itself, but it will not if you continue to eat. Eating is one side of the equation. Your body will do eating at one time and building and removal at another time. It will not do the two things simultaneously. And that is a statement that very few people have ever heard, but it is true. Now, I don't mean that you can't have a bowel movement right after you ate, but I'm telling you, there are two main cycles. And if you're consuming and building and your body wants to clean out, like let's just say you felt heavier after a meal. You either ate the wrong thing or ate things in combination with each other that were not appropriate. And most people don't even know there are poor combinations, such as fruit and meat. How many people eat a piece of fruit after a meat meal? That is so contrary to digestion. That is totally wrong. So you can't do that. But that's another rabbit hole. We could go down a million of them.
That's another show. I think that's an important topic.
I know. So the point is, if you stop eating, fasting is phenomenal for healing. If you stop eating and just survive on something that will keep you going without consuming food, and for my go-to on that is my ginger concoction. I probably gave that to you earlier, Joanne, where you cook a little ginger root, the raw ginger root, you puree it with the water in it after it's cooked in the blender, and you use that in all kinds of different things. But if you put it in hot water with either lemon or apple cider vinegar and some honey, and you survive on that, I've done that for a week at a time because I got sick. Now, if you just get a little tummy ache or something, or your body is too heavy, you don't have to do it for that long. But again, another rabbit hole. If you haven't looked into intermittent fasting, that is really important. Your body needs at least 8 to 10 hours a day without any food. And I don't mean while you're sleeping, just not that part. You should be going a good 12 to 16 hours if possible without food, and only having food go in for 6 or 8 hours together at one time during that time frame. And that gives your body a chance to rebuild and regenerate and do that fasting procedure. That's why it's called intermittent fasting.
Now, a question on that intermittent fasting. When one does something like that, how many days are they actually going through the intermittent fasting before they perhaps introduce food on a regular basis?
Well, intermittent fasting is something that I do every day. I never stop. That's a way of life. That's a lifestyle. That's the way we should be. Because in past times, let's just think about it. The 20th century is the first time in perhaps history, well, except for the royalty, that people have had enough food to eat so that they could eat 2 or 3 meals a day. That's totally abnormal. Eating 3 meals a day, that is so abnormal. That is not right. And so intermittent fasting is a lifestyle. That's a way to stay healthy, to answer your question.
And you're doing that in reference to how many hours that you're actually really eating in the intermittent fasting.
Intermittent. And so what that means is intermittent means you eat and then you fast for a while, and then you eat and then you fast for a while, but you only eat during one period of the day, which would be a 6 or 8 hour period. Let's just say from noon to 6 or from noon to 8. That's plenty of time to eat what you need to eat. You don't have to eat breakfast if you have nutritional supplements, particularly because, some people get low blood sugar and dizzy and everything like that if they don't have coffee or breakfast or something like that. But the point is that it shouldn't be that way, first of all, but you can ameliorate that with the ginger concoction. And drinking that ginger drink several times a day, oh my gosh, it makes your energy go up. I have actually fasted on just that for a whole week at a time with no food because I was sick and I allowed my body time to heal. And you can have great energy because the honey will give you the blood sugar up that you need, and the ginger will help your immune system, and it's a stimulant, and it's activator for your bowel. And then the lemon or the apple cider vinegar will keep your pH in balance. So you can thrive. I mean, I've worked in everything while I was fasting like that, and it works perfectly, and your body will heal and you will feel so much lighter. I talked to somebody yesterday, and this was so funny. She had gone in for a colonoscopy and had taken that drink, that empties you out. And this woman is not well. She's ill. I'm not going to mention the diagnosis, but it's not good. But the point is, she felt so good. She said, "Oh, I wish I could feel that way all the time because my tummy, my intestines were so empty." And you feel so light and you feel so great, and your body can heal. And then you start eating again, boom, you go down again.
Yes. Well, what we have to do, because I know this topic is big and there's a lot to talk about, but we do need to go on a commercial break, but let our viewers know how they can reach you.
Oh, sure. My email address is my first name, Terry, Terry, at Morse, that's my last name, Morse, wellness.com. Terry at morsewellness.com.
Excellent. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, there's going to be more talk because this is a big topic. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly looked through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
If you are turned off by conventional medicine and their mantra, "Do you want meds for that?" there's a better option. I'm Gabriella Mihalichin, medical intuitive and healer. Let me help you find the root cause of your illness and guide you through healing. My intuitive method directs your body to heal itself and removes barriers to healing. I invite you to schedule a session today at alivehealthsolutions.com.
Hi, I'm CJ. The Author's Porch is a community where you find good books and good people. We collaborate with services that deliver quality to authors and publish a magazine for authors by authors. Come by, let us feature you or review your book. Coffee is always on, and no matter what time you arrive or where you come from, the porch light is always on.
Welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest, Dr. Terry Morse here. We are chatting about overcoming disease. I do ask that you come back later to watch the replay because we shared some, or should I say, Dr. Terry Morse shared some really important information in regards to what disease really is, and it's not really what it is. So you definitely want to go back and watch it because it's going to definitely open your eyes and hopefully perhaps change some things that's going on in your world right now regarding what you might feel is a disease and how to actually heal from it. So Terry, as we were chatting before we went to commercial break, we were talking about, and I know I say it wrong, it's called intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting. So share more about that because that's definitely intriguing to me.
Thought I covered that. It just means not eating all the time. It means not snacking all the time. It means having wide swatches of your day where you don't eat anything. You might have a ginger concoction drink like we were talking about, or, I mean, a fruit maybe, but just basically not eating nuts, seeds, grains, heavy foods, meats, and all that, except for like 6 or 8 hours of the day, a specific time frame where you're going to eat. That's going to be your eating time because your body needs a chance to rest, to heal, and it needs more than just 6, 8 hours a day while you sleep. It needs more than that. So that's important. So let me go on. It's really important to identify this because what I'm saying is, when we were talking about the malfunction of the body and how disease is actually just a malfunction. So how do you identify a malfunction of your body without going to a doctor? Because my whole point is to empower people so that we can take back our power, understand our bodies, and understand the messages. And that's a key statement because that is the point. The body has a message. As an example, let's just say somebody is getting pain or stiffness in their fingers. Well, what's that from? So the important thing is, first of all, ask the question. And then listen to your body. Now, a lot of people say, listen to my body. What the heck is that all about? But that is a science or a skill. And you can pick that up on YouTube, read different videos, watch videos about it. So I don't have time to go into that right now. But the point is, your body has a message. Everything that happens to you is a message. And if you don't get the message, the body's just going to keep giving you harder and harder messages. And eventually you get hit real hard, and that's called a disease. Then you go to whatever, you follow whatever protocol, and it goes downhill from there. But listening to your body and following it. So my basic point here is that we have been taught to give away our power. We have been taught that we don't understand our bodies, that we can't figure out what's going on with our bodies. And that is so wrong because we are the only ones who can figure it out. Other people can help us, but we are the ones who can say, okay, I'm hurting here. What emotion is buried in those tissues? That's what they have always told us, is that the emotions are in the tissues. The issues are in the tissues. That's one of the phrases so that you can remember it. So you can learn a lot about that on the internet. There's so much there. So, but the innate wisdom that we have in our bodies, knowing what we are all about, we can get to that point where we can sense what is actually happening to us and with us and in our bodies. And we've just been disconnected. We have not listened, and we're just so busy. So I'll give you an example of my own self. I'm very consumed with my clients. I work with them, I follow them, and I love them, and I love my work. But it was consuming me to the point where I could feel myself going out of balance. So a week ago, well, actually a month ago, I called it to a halt. I mean, I just made the decision. I couldn't actually implement it until last week, but I just absolutely left Minnesota. I'm in Florida. I'm like vacating, I'm not doing clients for 2 weeks, 2 solid weeks. That is a huge step for me to back off and
we'll give you a round of applause.
That was so difficult, not only because for my own decisions, but to make things stay in place while I'm gone. I had to help get other people to help me. But what I'm trying to say is that it is an absolute necessity to call a halt to our fast-paced lives if we want to be well. Give you another example. When I was in clinical practice, I lived 36 years in Louisiana. My husband and I founded the first wellness clinic in Louisiana. We had a lot of successes, but one man came in there one day with a cancer diagnosis, and I told him this is what he would have to do, blah, 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 in order to get past that. He looked healthy. He wasn't old, but he had a full-time, well, he had his own business and he was running it and he had several employees. And I said, you're going to have to quit your work. You have to stop working to heal. Well, he wouldn't, and he's dead. I'm sorry. That's what happened. I mean, that you just have to realize that the body will not take no for an answer. It will not. You must follow it. So to follow your other question, what can we do to fix ourselves?
Yes.
Can I go on that one now?
Yes,
please?
we can. Definitely. I'm kind of interested.
Okay.
It got my attention.
Well, you know, it's all about frequencies, because you sing a lullaby to a child and that's a frequency and they calm down. You shout at a child and they cry. You know, do different frequencies. And so it's all about frequency, whether it's an herb, whether it's a medicine, those are frequencies. It's a food, that's a frequency. A song, that's a frequency. You listen to heavy metal music, you're going to destroy your body. I'm sorry if you like it. I apologize. But you know what? It destroys your body. So you're going to have to compensate for that if you want to listen to that kind of thing. So I'm going to give you several solutions. I mentioned that I would talk about quantum physics. Well, I'll just mention it in passing because that's like a 3-hour lecture. But, you know, it is now known and it's been identified, particularly by Dr. Charles McWilliams. If you ever want to follow somebody who's way on the forefront, who does his own research, it's Dr. Charles McWilliams. And he lives in Florida and he has a clinic in Nevis, West Indies. And he does Sunday, he calls it Sunday school, but it's a lecture. It's a 3-hour lecture every Sunday morning.
Well, that could be Sunday school then. 3 hours.
He's so funny, but he's really a genius. And so he has really shown molecularly about the atom. And this is a key point, and I'm going to give this as my main last point, but there are many ancillary points I'll bring to the table also after I say this. And that is this: scientifically, quantum physics, it is now proven that the core of the atom, the core, your core, that is what it takes to heal. You must change that. Now, how can you change the atoms in your body? Well, it is now known that one peak experience a day, meaning an emotional experience where you feel something dramatically, and I mean in a good sense, I don't mean bad, you know, really important. And it could be prayer, contemplation, it could be your artistic bent, like you're painting or you're singing, and you get to the peak of your emotions, that will change your atoms. And I'll give you an example. In 1989, I had a severe case of what's called sciatica. What that means is severe pain in the sciatic nerve coming from the lower back, going all the way down the leg or both legs. And it was excruciating. And I just said, I don't live with pain. This is not going to work for me. But it went on and on. And I went to practitioner after practitioner and nobody was getting anywhere with me. So I took a vacation. I went home to my mom's place. I stayed for a whole month. No, nothing. I didn't have a peak emotional experience. On my way back to Louisiana, I stopped at a seminar in St. Louis and we were doing a chant, a spiritual chant. I've mentioned it before. It's that ancient love song to God. You, oh, it's so beautiful. H-U. That's why we're called humans. We're God people. H-U, God. It's a name for God. We were chanting that. I started to cry. I mean, I couldn't stop the tears. I didn't know why I was crying. But the love of God was coming into me so deeply. When I finished, I mean, my girlfriend said, "What's wrong with you? I mean, are you okay?" I said, I guess I'm okay. I don't know. I went to bed that night and I had so much more pain than I had ever had. Guess what? I woke up in the morning, it was all gone and it never came back. That was a peak experience. So you can have that experience through nature, through a loved one, through a lover, through prayer with God. You can do so many things, but do it every day. Transform your body. You can do that. And I've got several tips. Do I have time to give more tips?
Say it again.
Do I have time to give 3 more tips?
Well, why don't we take a break and come back and give those tips? How about we do that? Okay. So let our viewers know how they can reach you.
Okay. Oh, my first name is Terry, Terry, and the last name is Morse. So it's Terry at Morse, MORSE, wellness.com. Terry at morsewellness.com.
Excellent. So we're going to take that commercial break. And then, of course, when we come back, Terry's going to give you some more tips. And if we still have time, I would love to give Terry a reading if she's open to it. So we'll be right back.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kitty Foss.
And I'm Amy J.
And we're Intuition of the Soul. We are a Facebook and YouTube group that has created a sacred spiritual place to look at your spiritual practices.
And there's too much to tell you about what we do, but let me tell you, we have weekly activities, we have monthly activities, and you are not going to want to miss our spiritual practitioner series. So join us on Intuition of the Soul.
Aloha.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917-863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR@gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Hello and welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit invitation. My name is Daniel Martinez Stahl. I've invited 11 other incredible spiritual intuitives to come and join me as we give Spirit a platform for them to share with us their latest messages, healings, and transmissions. To register and attend for free, please go to channelingspirit.net. I look forward to seeing you there. Being spirit, being human, and simply being from love. Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. I have my amazing guest, Dr. Terry Morse here. You're definitely going to have to come back and watch from the very beginning because we have been sharing so much insight regarding overcoming disease and what to do and how to do and really how to fix your disease. And you can, because you can heal your own body without having any support from the medical industry. So you're going to have to come back and watch this from the very beginning. Terry and I have been chatting during the commercial breaks. There's so much to share here. We're really trying to get it all in this time frame that we're here. But believe me when I say, make sure you're writing down her contact information because we're not going to be able to share everything in this time that we are together. And she's got so much knowledge, so much wisdom. After all, she's in this industry for over 50 years, doing what she's doing and been practicing for over 30. So before I go on and take up more time, Terry, go ahead and continue with those tips that you have for us.
I want to mention a book that's really good. It's like a workbook and it's very, very helpful. It's called Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life. And it's just so important because we are disconnected from our bodies in many cases. So that's a good one. And then, so that's Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life. The other tip, another one is Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm sure many people know about him, but he's got a lot of meditations on YouTube that will bring you deeper and help you with healing. Joe Dispenza, Dispenza. That's a really good one. Another point is just several right in a row here. It's really important to change. If something's working for you, don't stick with it all the time. Stick with it for a while and then change. If you don't change, you're not alive. Life is always changing. So shift into a new mode, even if something's working. Fall in love. It doesn't matter what you're in love with or who, but just fall in love. If you are in the state of love, that is transformational. You must love what you do, love what you're going for, love who, just love. But if you don't love every day, you will not be well, because wellness is harmony and balance. And that's what love is. Okay, now here's another one. I'm going to go real fast. Always upgrade, always do another step. Try to find, what's my next step? How can I recreate myself? What can I do differently? Be creative, use your imagination like a child. You know, it's been told to us many times we have to become like little children. So do that. Become like a little child. Ask questions, use your imagination. Stop what you're doing and shift always into a new action. And play. Love and play. And then the last tip is so important. This is a writing tip. This is, I've told it before, but this is 15 times writing the same thing. And you write 1, 2, 3 to 15 on a piece of paper or a cardboard bag or whatever. And then you write your sentence, and it has to start with I am. And you write it, same thing 15 times. For instance, you might say, I am abundantly healthy. That is a frequency, and that will shift the atoms in your body. If you put emotion into it, you got to love it, and it'll work. If you don't love it, if it's just mental, forget it. Or you could say, I feel life flowing through my body. Or you could say, I feel love flowing through my body. And then you say, yes, write it down, yes. And then write down, thank you. And then write down, thy will be done, if you care to. You can write any of those things, amen, whatever, or Hugh. But confirm that, lock it in. That's called a lock. And it works in your body. You do these things, you will change. You can heal your disease. You don't need anybody but yourself to do it. You can do it.
You can become your own doctor. Really. And as Terry and I were chatting during the commercial break, where we both shared with each other that when we were younger, or even most recent, we used to follow the rules. Well, Terry and I are giving you permission to stop following the rules. You don't have to follow the rules. You don't have to follow the mundane of going to the doctor to find out what's wrong with you. Take the time to find out what's wrong with you by yourself. As Terry says, connect with your body. Find out if your body is doing something such as I mentioned earlier, if you're coughing after a meal, which sometimes I do, it's a good thing to take a minute and say, okay, so why the hell am I coughing? What does my body want me to know? What did I just eat that did not agree with my system? And again, you'll have to come back to watch this from the very beginning, because Terry spoke about many systems in our body, and there are a lot of them. So definitely come back and watch this later on replay. You could do so by going to Roku. You can watch this on Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, YouTube, and just here on Facebook. Definitely come back and watch. Terry, with that being said, and you've shared all you needed to share regarding your tips, yes? Your books, yep. Yes? Excellent. Are you open to a reading?
Oh my goodness. Sure.
All right. All right. So what I like you to do is I like you just to take a breath. And we're going to see what the higher power, higher creator has in store for you, what's coming in next for you with all this amazing energy that's going on with our planets, this new moon that we just had in Virgo, and what direction you're going in with your business and also your personal life as well. So for me, just one time, just say your full name out loud that's on your birth certificate.
Oh, Teresa Mary Morse.
Now, do you go by Teresa? Usually go by Terry.
Always Terry.
All right. So what I want you to do, changing things around a little bit, even though that's your name on your birth certificate, give me your name that you go by in the real time.
Terry Morse.
Thank you. As you mentioned, we have to change things up. So there, I'm a quick learner. I love this for you. Your card is a karmic completion. Karmic completion. And what that means is that you've just completed a cycle. Now, I know that a couple of months ago, you just had a birthday as well. You know, we're going back to July. But you've completed a cycle as well in regards to whatever's been going on in your body, you know, which is a good thing. And that one energy is about you are going to be doing things a little differently in regards to how you are teaching what you're teaching. A new group of people, getting your message out there in a different way. I get a sense, consciously speaking, on a subconscious level, you've been thinking about, well, how can I really get what I need out there to the audience, to everybody, so they can really pay attention? That message is going to come in for you. You're going to receive that insight in regards to the best way to do what you need to do so you can get your message across. And I think right off the back, as we both said, we got to start breaking the rules of listening to what the doctors tell us and really start becoming our own advocate to our bodies. The chakra here is the root chakra. So getting out into nature as much as you can and allowing yourself to connect with nature to reconnect with your own body as well. Does this make sense to you so far?
Totally. I'm right there.
Excellent, excellent. I love that card for you. Any questions about this card?
It's a 1, did you say? Is that the number 1?
Yes, it's the number 1. And when we think about the number 1 in astrology, it's associated with the first house, which is Aries energy, which happens to be retrograde right now. And I love the fact that in your conversation, you talked about play, because Aries is all about self, our inner child as well, when it's associated with Chiron energy, which is retrograde. So allowing your inner child to come out and play more, as you mentioned, for us to do, for you to do the same, is to really get into that play activities, what brings more joy into your life, and tapping into that inner child, bringing her out and playing each and every day. But that 1 is also associated with new opportunities, new possibilities, and being the leader which you already are. And stepping just in front of a new audience. A lot of new people are going to be coming into your path to do what to gain the knowledge that you have to offer.
That's wonderful. It fits me perfectly.
I think so too. Excellent. I love that. I love that. So again, do you have any like 1 sentence and final words that you like to leave our audience with?
Yes, I do. And I didn't say this before. And that is, the key is that we must love ourselves. We must come into love to the point where we love ourselves. Even if we have to go to the mirror every day and say, I love you, I love you, I love every part of you. Until we do that, it's not going to heal. Got to have it.
Exactly. I love that. Yes. And totally what I believe in too. It's about self-love. We have to stop expecting to receive love from somebody else and start giving it to ourselves. So I love that tip. And again, one last time, Terry, let everybody know how they can reach you.
It's my name. Terry is my first name, Terry, at Morse, that's my last name, Morse, wellness.com, Terry at morsewellness.com. Thank you.
Yes. And please, everyone, if you are just tuning in, if you've just caught this segment, please go back and watch. And please reach out to Terry, because she only covered but this much information that can really help save your life. And I say it in that way, and it might sound serious, but it is. If you've been diagnosed with a disease and you want to find a different way to start healing, I do believe you need to connect with Terry to help you in that direction so you can start living and loving and living life to your fullest. So again, Dr. Terry Morse, thank you so much for being here with us today. We're going to take that quick commercial break, and I'll be back with the conclusion of today's show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you know that stress and unprocessed emotions can store in your body, creating more muscle tension and pain, causing illness and disease to flare up? With the help of Chakra Balance Reiki Healing, you can begin to feel better within 1 session. Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck. And I would like to help you release issues from your tissues as you release emotional weight and begin to feel better physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. For more information, email healingwithin76@gmail.com.
Each of us has a mission. What's your mission? Would you like to become a community health resource specialist so you can help your family and your community? For more information on this new training, email me at terry@morsewellness.com. That's TERRY @MORSE wellness.com. You can become a community health resource specialist.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. And you just missed an amazing show. I had an amazing guest, Dr. Terry Morse, on. We were sharing about overcoming disease. So if you have a disease or you know someone who does, and believe me, I'm sure we all know at least one person, if not a handful, who do, I recommend that you come back and watch again and gain some knowledge today. And even more important, connect with Dr. Terry Morse, because she can definitely help change your life, help you live your life without having to deal with your disease. With that being said, just to let you all know, because I know you all like to be in the know of who's coming on next. Our next episode will take place on September 11th, and I will have Nick Rafter on with us. By now, I'm sure you all know who he is. He's going to be sharing his journey as a spirit communicator and how he actually helps people when looking for homes in regards to what's going on in the house based on spirit communication. So you definitely want to tune in on September 11th as I have him with us. And just some promos to talk about, because all my partners do amazing things. So we're going to go through this. And of course, know there's a flyer for each person who I speak about. So feel free to look at that flyer, come back, write the information down. To start off with, we have the Author's Porch magazine and podcast. The publisher and host, which is CJ Ives Lopez. Next up is Intuition of the Soul, hosted by Katie Foss and Amy Martin. Spirit Messages and Energy Insight, presented by Joe Monkman. We have Dr. Terry Morse of Morse Wellness, which was our guest for today. Kendrick Greer, our astrologer. Real estate agent Nick Rafter. Holistic Fitness by yours truly. Our 3-day challenge. You want to know more about that? Go ahead and email healingwithin76@gmail.com. And last but not least, although there's no flyer for this one, we are ending August, which means September is right around the corner, the first Wednesday of the month in September, which is September 7th. Come join me for Joanne's Cosmic Energy radio show to find out what the monthly forecast is for the month of September. There'll probably be a 3-card reading for each zodiac sign, so you'll got a lot of information in reference to how to maneuver through the month of September with all of the actual planets that are in retrograde and how to move through that. So come join me on the 7th of September at 3:33 p.m. Eastern Time. All that being said, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy this new moon, Virgo. Come back and watch, because you missed a fantastic show. Well, we'll be on a break next week, but we'll be back the following. Bye-bye for now.